guys? I am Pixel Dan, and it's time for a brand new season of the Dan and Randy Show here at San Diego Comic-Con 2018 at the NECA Toys booth. What is up, Randy?
It's been a very long day, Dan, but you're the first one.
I am so This is awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you. We snuck you in early, so people can't wait for another season, another episode. Our adopted child has left for college already.
He's already gone.
Yeah, well, they wrote
him off the show.
It's like Sam from Different Strokes or Oliver from the Brady Bunch. No one gave a crap. They had to get rid of that kid.
Tried to pull in ratings.
It's all about our charisma. It's like the X-Files. Will they or won't they? It's moonlighting all over again. It's the chemistry we have.
Yeah.
Just for that. So I'm sorry. Your better half standing here like Jesus Christ.
Oh, I know. She's like, what is this?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
No, this is really exciting stuff. The con is just getting ready to start. You guys are just putting the final touches on the booth, but I'm already seeing some really, really good stuff here. So you just want to go into it? You want to start running down all the new stuff you got going on here? Where do you want to start?
We have a whole lot. Boy, where to begin? Should we start with Turtles?
I think we should. I mean, I wore an appropriate shirt, I think, for the event because I was hoping there'd be some news, and well, I see him right behind me here.
So we revealed the fourth character from the Dimension X set, which is Leatherhead. Yes. And it's awesome.
Yes.
And that is going to be a set available next year. Details will be announced later because there's a whole bunch of other stuff in the pipeline for next year. Bunch of other characters that are brand new.
More turtle stuff.
More turtles. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. So beyond what we're doing in quarter scale, which we'll talk about in a minute, the regular 6-inch line is expanding with a bunch more villains besides what's here. So you got Slash and the Rock Soldiers and Leatherhead, like we said. You're going to see a whole bunch of fan favorite villains that we've never done before. And there'll be stuff for con, and there'll be stuff maybe for select retailers.
Really? So we might be able to get some of this stuff at retail. I think that's going to be huge for a lot of people.
I think so.
Yeah.
We've been working on this for a while. There'll be some announcements shortly after San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay.
As details are being finalized, contracts, and so forth. But if you're a Turtles fan and you've weathered the storm, you've taken this ride with us over the last few years, con exclusives are still going to be a thing, but there will be some other opportunities too in 2019 and 2020.
That's excellent. Yeah. Can you give any details on if it's going to be cartoon only, or are you going to work in more movie stuff with that as well, or?
Well, I think as of right now, it's cartoon and video game for the retail opportunities, and there will be more movie stuff in the quarter scale line at retail, and hopefully more movie stuff in the 6-inch and 7-inch line at con next year.
Okay, there you go. Because you already know what everybody's asking, especially with the reveal of that guy right there.
We need to get those quarter scales done. So everyone's like putting the cart before the horse, as us old timers say. We are going to do it all. Obviously, we want to, but it takes time to do them this good and this right. So we got quarter scale Foot Soldier here finally, and he's badass. And we have one of our guys in the studio right now finishing quarter scale Shredder. So we'll show him to you guys soon, hopefully sometime next month. And he will be out probably early 2019. We're going to get Foot Soldier out before the end of the year, I hope. And yeah, I know everyone wants us to scale them down because they want villains for the awesome VHS set, that you're so infamously quoted on for this comic. It was a fun one to do, just everything on that packaging, and everyone owned that VHS. The FHE thing played it to death, myself included. I was a bit on the older side, but I remember dragging my high school girlfriend at the time to see Ninja Turtles in the theater. So it was cool to, revisit that all these years later and dig out the old VHS and figure out how can we copy this and whose quotes are we going to include on the back? Who's going to make the cut?
That's so cool.
And the little payola, I put your name on there.
Yeah. I had no idea. That was such a cool surprise, though, honestly. So thank you guys for that. That's really cool.
It's cool to include you and Zach, of course, is a big fan.
Of course.
Yeah, it's just a fun thing to do. We're able to do a lot of fun stuff with it. Nickelodeon's super cool with us, having fun. It's different because we're about the collectors, and it's for that,
that's great.
upper 20s to in the mid 30s. All the people who grew up with it,
Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that Nickelodeon recognizes that and is supporting this, because I think that's what a lot of people have always, kind of had an issue with. Playmates does their stuff for kids, which is great. but we are all fans too, and we want this stuff. So I'm glad that they're kind of playing ball and letting you do this.
Yeah, it's huge, and I think they see what goes on with the bigger, like the Marvel and the DC. There's the kid stuff and there's the collector stuff, and that audience needs to be served. There's now plenty of guys. Turtles have been around long enough that these guys all grew up with it and have the nostalgia for either the Henson Turtles from the movie or the Wolf cartoon or whatever. Right. So letting us play with that universe is awesome, because that's what we want to do anyway. I don't really care about what's going on with the new cartoon or what's geared towards a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old. I want the stuff that I was into.
There you go.
So it works for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. Glad to hear there's a lot of great stuff going on with Turtles, obviously, since I'm a huge fan, but that is definitely not all you guys brought to the show. So let's get into it. What else we got here that's new?
So sticking in that nostalgia play, we've got a big surprise at the show, and that's the Karate Kid.
Yeah, I already saw some buzz online about this, like right before I got here, and I'm looking at them right now. Awesome.
Yeah, they're cool. We're still making some tweaks, but they'll be out early next year. Obviously, we all grew up with that movie and love it. And then with Cobra Kai being as awesome and kick-ass as it was, we got to do something. So went back to the '84 film, and we've got Daniel LaRusso, we got Johnny Lawrence, we got Mr. Miyagi. I think it's going to be 5 figures to start with. There's 3 that'll be individually sold, and then a 2-pack of Johnny and Daniel in the karate, All Valley Tournament Showdown. Yeah. So great stuff there. So much fun to work on and watch the movie again. I watched it a million times as a kid with my brother, so that's a blast. Totally out of left field and leaving people saying, what is Golden Girls?
I know. What's so funny about that is it's funny because specifically somebody said, make sure you ask Randy all the hard questions. And as a joke response, I said, so you want me to ask him who his favorite Golden Girl is or what? I had no idea I was going to get here and see Golden Girls in the case.
It's Blanche, because who doesn't like, she's the feisty one. Yeah. So, no, it's fun to do, man. Again, everyone watched that show.
Right.
And it's got a big following. You see the T-shirts everywhere. It's got a huge following with all different audiences. It's not for our Alien and Predator fans, and we realize that, but it's going to go to a whole different audience.
It really is.
And it's fun to do. It's just totally different. And I learned a whole lot about chiffon and shoulder pads, and it's a whole new. I know a lot of mandibles and scales and xenomorphs, but now I know all about pumps.
Yes.
And it's a different world.
It's cool. Broaden your horizons a little bit.
Absolutely. Whoever thought I'd be making Golden Girls toys? I never did.
I didn't see that coming.
You can be Arthur, dude. So what are you going to do?
Amazing.
Another cool one in there, more 90s than 80s though, but Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
How awesome is Jim Carrey as Ace Ventura? So that's going to come with 3 different heads, collection, a menagerie of birds and animals, couple paper accessories like the Dolphins team photo and an Ace Ventura business cards. That one's real cool, and it's different because we've nailed down the monsters and the horror stuff for years, and we're doing much more. But it's cool to branch out and do comedy and do TV and just have fun with it,
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
Awesome. So those are good ones and surprise reveals here. Beyond that. In the horror realm, Pennywise is killing it. We announced just this past week a GameStop exclusive, which is the I Love Dairy Pennywise. That's here. We've got a Bride of Chucky 2-pack this Halloween, which is an all-new Chucky and Tiffany. There's 6 different heads in the set and a whole slew of accessories. We've got some new Jason and Freddy's on display. Probably one of the biggest, closely guarded secrets that I am most excited about. The return of Michael Myers. So we're going to reveal that one later tonight. He's under wraps right now. He's under a tarp, but we'll let you guys get a look at him.
Okay.
And that's for the new film that comes out this October. It's been about 10 years since Michael's been back in our stable, and I could not be happier to have him back because we have everybody else.
Yeah.
We needed him to complete that unholy.
Yeah, totally.
So it's here, and it's awesome. It's an ultimate figure. He's going to have a couple heads, a whole bunch of accessories, a couple things that are spoiler related, so I can't show them or talk about them yet. But Halloween is back, and Michael Myers is here where he's belonged all along.
That is awesome. Very cool. And while we're on the subject of the horror icons real quick, I wanted to throw another question at you that I've seen some people kind of talking about. I know there's been a bit of a legal battle with the Friday the 13th stuff that affected the video game recently, and I think people are kind of worried that that might have an effect on you guys and the action figures. Is that something you can speak on?
You know, I've heard about what's going on with the video game, and I saw the sort of letter that was sort of reprinted or published online.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have not received anything like that.
Oh, that's good.
And
I hope I didn't just bring attention to it.
no, I mean, I don't know how the game licensing is different than the consumer product licensing for toys, but I know we keep going forward. We've got the Part 5 Dream Sequence Jason here, and I have 3 more Jasons done for next year, and everything keeps going through the proper channels and the proper approvals, so we are moving full steam ahead.
Good.
So I know it's complicated. I know there was going to be a sequel at one point that got shelved. Thank God it hasn't affected the toys because we love Jason, and we have a whole bunch more, including new one. We posted a teaser just last Friday on the 13th with the Road Flare.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're doing more.
Good. That's awesome.
And brand new ones like Roy.
Ooh.
So that Road Flare was enough of a clue, but for the people who aren't sure, yes, from the horse's mouth or the horse's ass, whatever you want to call me, Roy is coming next year. So.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for the clarification. That's great.
What else we got? We've got our massive Deadpool, half scale, 3 foot tall Deadpool is on display. Finished prototype, all articulated, bunch of weapons, interchangeable hands. It's the biggest, most detailed, most posable figure ever made, so that's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
What else do we have?
All those gremlins. We have to talk about those gremlins.
How could I forget? Because
Yeah.
that shelf over there is like
it's such an amazing
the
display.
movie theater.
Yeah.
There's popcorn, there's soda cups, there's candy, there's cigarettes, there's Santa hats, there's chaos and mayhem all across the board. We've wanted to get back to the original 84 Gremlins for years, and we're finally doing it in a big way. So we have about a dozen of them in that display right there, which hopefully people see the potential with all the articulation, the ears, the jaw. You can create so many different poses and expressions with them. It's the perfect time to army build.
Oh man, that's so cool.
We did a contact sheet a few weeks ago that was like showing all the different faces on the unpainted test shot. And then we also have Stripe here, which is a reveal. So Stripe's got the real hair for the mohawk. He's got a whole different face than the rest of them. He comes with a skateboard. The wheels actually roll. Comes with a big chainsaw so he can go after Billy. A saw blade. So really good stuff there.
That is so exciting. I am hyped
That
for those.
a lot of fun. We're super excited. We plan to do more stuff. There's a lot of possibilities there. We are working on the first ever official NECA Christmas card using the Gremlins. So there's a lot of good stuff to come.
Awesome.
Oh, so let's talk about Guillermo Del Toro.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Guillermo is an awesome guy, a huge fan of all this stuff, and a friend. So we are showing more of our line here. We have the whole Pan's Labyrinth line shown here for the first time.
Sweet.
Everything, diorama, the fawn, the pale man Ophelia, which we had not shown before. The diorama is beautiful. We have the Guillermo Del Toro exclusive figure here at the con, which is awesome. And then we are announcing at San Diego Comic-Con for the first time, available next spring, The Shape of Water, Academy Award-winning film.
Nice.
And beautiful creature that we will reveal here at the show tonight for the first time.
That's awesome. So very cool. Man, there's so much stuff too. Was there anything? We got some Godzilla stuff back here.
Yeah, there's new Godzillas. Oh, Terminator too. You don't need to see anybody else because frankly they pale in comparison. I have to say it. And we've got so much, Dan. Just spend an hour or two.
Just spend an hour over here.
Yeah.
I got to film all this stuff still, so I'll be here for a while.
So, as you guys know, and especially you're a fan of the old school stuff, we've done Kenner Predator and Kenner Aliens for a couple years now. So for the first time, we're doing an entire Kenner Terminator set.
Oh my gosh.
So
I'm going to pass out right here.
There's Power Arm Terminator. There is Metal Mash Endoskeleton.
Oh my god.
And then the one that I think is my favorite is the White Hot T-1000.
Yeah.
And what's even cooler about him, it's the Robert Patrick has the T-1000, and he's in sort of an icy blue color, and there's silver paint hits on his badge and his name tag and belt buckles and what have you on the police uniform. You throw that bad boy in the freezer or run him under some ice cold water, and he changes colors.
Oh my god.
Taking you back to those glory days of '93.
Perfect.
So he gets all dark, and it's super cool, and the silver parts remain silver. And it's like 2 figures in one. And then we got a little video out to show it off. We'll be posting that sometime during the show. Little time-lapse thing. We turn the hairdryer on them and watch the color change right before your eyes. It's toy magic.
I love it.
So definitely check that out. And then for those who are more movie-focused, we're showing you guys Eddie Furlong as John Connor for the first time.
Yes.
And that'll be out next year with a whole bunch of accessories. We'll show more about him later this fall. But we wanted to let you know the movie stuff is still, on our minds and in development. But the Kenner stuff's fun to do, and it helps pay for all the movie stuff.
Man, I love the Kenner stuff too. I love the fun stuff, right? It just kind of reminds you of the stuff we played with, and I think that's the charm of it.
Yeah, it's all about that nostalgia and feeling like a kid again, because who the hell wants to grow up?
Right, exactly.
Who wants to pay bills and work? Well, I like working, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It was a lot more fun when you were a kid,
Definitely,
So,
definitely.
so that stuff's badass. We got a lot of new Godzilla. We had to wait a while until some new licensing deals were settled. But we've got the Atomic Blast Shin Godzilla from the film from a couple years ago. We have a really cool movie poster repaint of the 54 to look like how he did on the American movie release.
Nice.
And that has some sort of diorama elements to the packaging that recreates the poster, which is pretty neat. So yeah, there's some cool stuff there. On the video game side, we've got more from Team Fortress with Valve. We've got a whole bunch of Crash Bandicoot stuff. So we have Crash on the hoverboard, and we're showing Scuba Crash and Jetpack Crash. And we are sculpting more Crash characters, not just Crash.
That's awesome. I know that was a big question too, so that's great.
And so they're in the works. They are being sculpted. We are also sculpting Spyro right now, but there is only so much stuff we can do, and there's only so many hours in the day. But Spyro the Dragon is being sculpted at the moment, as are 2 other Crash Bandicoot characters, not Crash.
Awesome.
Attention exhibitors.
Awesome.
Preview night is now open.
Oh no, here they come.
Comic-Con International
Hide.
2018.
Run for your lives.
And it's open.
Yeah, I'm Predator. So God of War, we have our 2-pack of Kratos and Atreus. It's a new version of Kratos, new head, new accessories, the Mimir head on his hip, his son Atreus, who's a huge part of the game.
Yeah.
That'll be out for Christmas. And then how can we leave out Predator? So we have our awesome Hawkins exclusive figure here from the 87 movie, a little homage with Shane Black, who starred in that film and is now directing the new film.
Awesome.
And then as perfect synergy, we have stuff from the new film. Well, they're doing a big panel here tomorrow. We have the first Fugitive Predator, which no one has seen in person yet, and it's in the trailers, and we've shown some pictures online a couple weeks ago. And then we have a brand new reveal at the show of the Assassin Predator. Nice. He's the biggest, most badass Predator yet. The figure's about 11 inches tall.
Oh, wow.
And it is pretty freaking scary, and we will show you the unpainted reveal on him later this evening, and I think they're going to show you more footage on him tomorrow at the panel.
Excellent. Wow, so you guys have a ton of incredible stuff here on display at the show, which is so amazing. So if I could, I got a question to ask to end this off, which is a question I get a lot about NECA in general regarding the recent closure of Toys R Us.
Yes.
How does the closure of Toys R Us affect NECA with the distribution, retail releases of this stuff?
Yeah. That's a very good question, and people have been asking for a while, and there were certain things that we were waiting till this show to talk about, because really the first half of this year, once that news became real, at the end of February, beginning of March, whenever it started to look like, holy crap, this is happening, we built a big collector business there over the last 5 years, and they were a great partner. We're a New Jersey-based company. They were a New Jersey-based company. So it sucks on a lot of levels, because a lot of people lost their jobs, which is horrible. It hurts the economy. It hurts people who live in New Jersey where we are based. It hurts our business. It hurts me as a father and as a toy collector. So on every level, it sucks. That being said, we can get on to better news, because onward and upward, the show must go on. We've got to sell toys. People want to collect the stuff, thank God. We are doing a bunch of stuff with GameStop, as people have seen recently. There's an exclusive Pennywise mentioned before. There's a whole bunch of stuff leading into Halloween this year with them, and they are carrying some of the video game stuff like Crash and Kratos and stuff like that, which is great. And then announced just this afternoon, we have a very exciting opportunity beginning of August, around August 3rd, and that is at Target.
Awesome.
So Target is obviously huge. There's Targets everywhere, hopefully close to where you and your loved ones live. We are not going to be in the toy section. We are going to be more in that trend section,
Gotcha.
which is where we belong. and it's more in like where the movies and the video games and all that fun stuff is. And we are going to be merchandising that section very much like we did at Toys R Us.
Super cool.
And you will see a whole bunch of our stuff there beginning the first week of August. And watch for contest opportunities, coupon opportunities. We want to drive traffic there. We want this to be a success. We want you to find our toys at an affordable price, at a close by location that's convenient to you. And please go out and support it. It's the way it will expand. It's the way there will be more. And hopefully it grows, and we all fill that void left in our hearts and our toy love, from Toys R Us. We're going to continue with Target and GameStop. So support it. That's the way it's going to succeed.
That is really, really great news. Couldn't end this off on a better note. So very cool stuff. Lots of new things coming from NECA. We're going to have places to buy it at retail. So much great news coming out of San Diego Comic-Con already. So Randy, you are the man. Thank you so much for always taking the time to do this with us. Thanks for letting us get in here early to look at all this. We really, really appreciate it.
You got it, Dan. Thanks for coming by. Always a pleasure.
Awesome. Well, there Toys has on display at the 2018 San Diego Comic-Con. Season 9.
Stay up to date with Pixel Dan at San Diego Comic-Con. Follow at Pixel Dan on Twitter, or you can subscribe for more videos on /Pixel Dan on YouTube.com.